Choi Hyun-seok, the undefeated heavyweight champion, stands tall with his golden belt. 2 years of dominance, but the gold trophy is just a memory now. The towel hits the canvas, a perfect 23-0 record, but wait, it's over. He defended his title one last time, retiring at the absolute peak of his game. Choi Hyun-seok, the man who conquered the ring, now faces a different kind of silence. A sudden blinding light, a truck. No, this can't be how it ends. Wait, he's dead. All that hard-earned retirement money gone in a single heartbeat. He's wailing in the void, a lonely champion stripped of his hard-earned future. 30 minutes later, the tears stop. No more training, no more grueling matches. Alone in the afterlife, he finds a grim comfort. At least there's no one left to grieve. A blinding light tears through the void. What is happening to him? A hand reaches through the rift. Is someone actually pulling him out? A winged woman appears. She calls him an SSS rank hero. This is insane. She introduces herself as Rahul. A wink. In the afterlife, something feels off. She's a headhunter scouting souls. Choi Hyun-seok is stunned. Is this his second chance? She leans in close, ready to spill the truth. The pressure is mounting now. 2 choices: rot as a bachelor or become a hero. The stakes just skyrocketed. She paints a picture of glory and companions, but he's still hesitant. Why? He needs time to think. This is too much, too fast. Is she hiding something? She won't let him walk away. She's promising status windows and game-like power. Too good. Choi Hyun-seok is skeptical. He just retired. He's not looking for another fight. Rahul isn't having it. She's pulling out the props for a full sales pitch. She's acting out a scene with a puppet, promising feasts and a hero's welcome. The puppet is getting dramatic, dangling the promise of a beautiful village bride. She's really selling the fantasy now, but Choi Hyun-seok just stares, completely unimpressed. Rahul pivots to a darker tactic, threatening him with a non-human reincarnation. The pressure works. Choi Hyun-seok crumbles, finally agreeing to the deal. She plays coy, leaning in and pretending she didn't hear his desperate answer. She's pushing him to the edge, making him beg for this second chance. He snaps, shouting that he'll take the contract. The deal is officially sealed. Rahul isn't waiting. She snaps her fingers, and a massive magic circle erupts instantly. Choi Hyun-seok hits the ground, eyes wide as the world dissolves into pure light. No time for goodbyes. Rahul is already pushing him into the void, grinning wildly. He's panicking, screaming that he hasn't even prepared for this insane hero journey yet. Too late, the magic circle swallows him whole, leaving him to face the unknown alone. Rahul doesn't care. She's already on the phone, cashing in on her latest successful recruit. She's checking off her quota, bragging about the 137,421st candidate while counting her sweet bonus. Choi Hyun-seok wakes up in a dark, cold room, confused by the strange, haunting voice. He's lying on a wooden slab, already realizing the hero script is way too predictable. Suddenly, a violent strike. He's being threatened. Open your eyes or get them gouged out. Choi Hyun-seok snaps awake, realizing this hero life is just a nightmare. A massive, red-skinned demon guard looms over him, mocking his pathetic state. Choi Hyun-seok tries to stay calm, but this monster is clearly not a village chief. The guard towers over him, sneering at how incompetent these new heroes are. Wait, his hands are shaking. Did Rahul just dump him into a death trap? He stares at the demon, realizing this monster is his actual tutorial boss. He grits his teeth, eyes narrowing. He knows exactly how to handle a bully. The demon growls, but Choi Hyun-seok is already moving, his instincts kicking in. A lightning-fast strike, he lands a perfect hit, catching the beast completely off guard. He drives his foot into the demon's throat, silencing the trash talk for good. The demon guard is fed up. Where are these endless, annoying heroes coming from? Choi Hyun-seok winces, clutching his ankle in pure agony. This wasn't the heroic start promised. The demon looms over him, promising a good long sleep to break his spirit. Choi Hyun-seok stares in disbelief. Is this really the legendary hero's journey he signed up for? He screams at the guards to open the door, desperate for another round of combat. A goblin guard bursts in, blade drawn, demanding to know who is causing all this noise. The guard slams a blade down, threatening to turn him into literal pork belly. Choi Hyun-seok instantly folds, nodding frantically. He'll be quiet, he's not looking for trouble now. The goblin keeps a sharp eye on him, leaving the former champion broken on the floor. He's sobbing now, realizing he's going to die a virgin twice over. What a disaster. Choi Hyun-seok jolts awake in the dark cell. A stranger calls out to him. The stranger identifies himself as a senior hero, trapped in this grim fortress with him. Choi Hyun-seok is reeling. Why would a hero start their journey in a literal dungeon? The senior hero reveals the horrific truth. Over 100 heroes are rotting in here. He points out the captors, the brutal Captain Raedrun and the sadistic guard Jack. Choi Hyun-seok realizes the entire hero contract was a scam orchestrated by Rahul. The realization hits hard. Rahul intentionally dumped them into this death trap for profit. Choi Hyun-seok can't believe it. He was supposed to be a hero, not a prisoner. The senior hero confirms their nightmare. Heroes are supposed to start in peaceful, safe lands. They were never meant to be here. This is a total catastrophic system malfunction. Choi Hyun-seok finally connects the dots. Rahul is the one to blame for this hell. He's stuck in the Demon King's third legion, forced to toil as a common slave. The grueling labor continues. He's hauling heavy logs while the goblins mock the humans. A goblin guard signals the end of the shift, swinging his tool with a grin. Back in the cell, he's exhausted, already plotting revenge against that little goblin guard. He collapses on the cold floor, thinking he'd honestly prefer a regular prison cell. Wait, the hero perks. He suddenly remembers the promise of a status window. He reaches out, wondering if he can finally trigger the system to change his fate. It's happening. A glowing blue interface erupts in the dark cell game start. He stares at the screen, confused by his stats and that weird pickaxe work skill. 31 health at level 1. The senior hero is absolutely floored by this. Choi Hyun-seok just shrugs, confirming his strength is already at 28. The senior hero can't believe it. A champion's base stats are truly built different. But the reality hits. He's still just a slave trapped in this miserable dungeon. The senior hero tries to hype him up, insisting he's destined for greatness. Choi Hyun-seok just sighs, exhausted by the constant, empty talk of being a hero. He forces himself to sleep, but his mind is racing with escape plans. He reopens his status window, desperate to find any hidden advantage to survive. He zeroes in on the hero points section, a total mystery to every other prisoner. Suddenly, a blinding, familiar light erupts. Is the system finally reacting to him? Choi Hyun-seok recoils in shock as Rahul suddenly reappears inside his cell. She's back, flashing a grin and ready to lecture him on hero points. Rahul flutters about, acting like a helpful guide while he's still trapped in chains. She tries to explain the system, but he's had enough of her manipulative games. He grabs her, slamming her down and cutting off her annoying, cheerful sales pitch. He threatens her, demanding she stop the act and face the reality of this prison. She starts sobbing, claiming a simple mistake caused the magic circuit to malfunction. Choi Hyun-seok stares at her, disgusted that his assigned fairy is just a liability. She insists she's here to help him defeat the Demon King, regardless of his protests. He flatly refuses, but she's already pushing his SSS-level potential as his only way out. Choi Hyun-seok lies back, cold and indifferent. He has zero interest in being a hero. Rahul is panicking, but he just shuts her down. He's done with the fighting life. Rahul is spiraling. She thought he was a simple, bloodthirsty fool, but he's something else entirely. Wait, the reality hits her. She's stuck as his assigned fairy until the Demon King falls. No take-backs. The system has locked her into this miserable, dangerous fate. The rules are clear: share the life, share the death. They are bound together now. The order is given. She's being forcibly sent straight into the heart of the enemy fortress. There's no escape for her. She has to stay until the mission is complete. She's absolutely losing it, screaming about being abandoned in this filthy human realm. The tables have turned. He's the one giving orders now, and she has no choice. Choi Hyun-seok lunges, catching the tiny fairy in a desperate mid-air grab. The goblin guards burst in, barking orders at the prisoners to get moving. Rahul panics, whispering about stealth magic, while Hyun-seok stares down the goblin intruder. A summons from the boss. Raedrun wants to see the human right now. He enters Raedrun's office, the tension thick enough to cut with a blade. The bull-like demon sits, his eyes glowing with a cold, calculating intensity. Raedrun praises his work ethic, while the goblin Jack hitches a ride on his shoulders. A goblin praising a human. Hyun-seok is stunned. This is definitely a trap. The offer is dropped: become a slave master and climb the ranks of hell. Rahul screams for him to refuse, but the power dynamic just shifted completely. Rahul is losing her mind. A hero working for the Demon King is absolute madness. Raedrun's eyes narrow, his patience wearing thin at the audacity of the human's words. Choi Hyun-seok slams his hand down, fully committing to the role of a ruthless overseer. Raedrun is impressed, offering a potential spot in the army if the work stays efficient. Choi Hyun-seok is internally crushed, his hopes for a quick escape fading into the abyss. A few days later, the fortress echoes with the brutal chants of the Demon King's army. Choi Hyun-seok mocks the slaves, his cold persona perfectly masking his true, desperate intentions. The system pings, his charisma skill levels up from leading the slaves. He actually likes it. The other slaves whisper in shock, wondering if their brutal master was once a hero. Rahul screams in terror, but Choi Hyun-seok just smirks. He's playing a much deeper game now. Choi Hyun-seok barks orders at the slaves, his cold, calculated act fooling everyone. The system pings, his favor with the demon Raedrun is climbing steadily toward the goal. He plays the part perfectly, saluting the tower and shouting his loyalty to Raedrun. Rahul is absolutely losing it, screaming that this isn't the heroic adventure she promised. Choi Hyun-seok just shrugs, coldly reminding her that he's only following the system's orders. Rahul is horrified by the absurdity of gaining favor from a low-level demon lackey. He points to the status window, calmly questioning why the system's wording is so bizarre. Rahul stammers, realizing the system's formal tone has completely vanished into informal, mocking slang. Choi Hyun-seok doesn't care about the glitches, he's just focused on surviving this hell. The quest is clear, use the enemy to survive, even if it means losing his soul. Choi Hyun-seok stares at the system interface, completely baffled by the bizarre quest requirements. He's actually forcing the slaves to sing the Demon King's anthem. Rahul is losing it. Rahul panics, realizing that only high-ranking demons should be able to alter these specific quests. A goblin guard interrupts, barking at him to move out. It's time for the big meeting. The goblin Jack leads him toward the office, his grin wide and unsettlingly sharp. They arrive at Raedron's office. The heavy wooden door looms, signaling a major turning point. Raedron is waiting, his bull-like features twisted into a rare, approving smirk at the human. Choi Hyun-seok plays the sycophant perfectly, praising Raedron's management while Rahul watches in absolute horror. The system pings, favorability hit the goal. He just earned his first 100 hero points. The basic hero shop is finally unlocked, leaving Rahul stunned that his insane gamble worked. Choi Hyun-seok pivots, his eyes sharp. The favor-grinding phase is officially over. He salutes Raedron, pitching his master plan to train the human slaves. Raedron pauses, his bull-like features twisting in genuine confusion at the strange request. Hyun-seok leans in, his grin widening. He's selling the dream of peak efficiency. He paints a vivid picture of elite, harmonious slaves working at breakneck speeds. Raedron grunts, acknowledging the physical toll, but he's clearly tempted by the results. The demon commander is sold. He grants the request with a nod of approval. Success, Hyun-seok is ecstatic, but Rahul is absolutely losing her mind in the background. She's sobbing, convinced her hero has finally snapped and joined the enemy for good. He snaps back, silencing her. He's got a real plan, and it's not what she thinks. Choi Hyun-seok drops the bomb. He's planning a massive slave revolt. Rahul is stunned, her jaw hitting the floor at his reckless ambition. He breaks down the math, 3,000 slaves against only 500 demon soldiers. He's going to use the chaos to signal the nearby human coalition outpost. Rahul is actually impressed. He's more than just a mindless brawler after all. Choi Hyun-seok eyes the system interface, ready to spend those hard-earned hero points. He triggers the shop, praying for something that can actually save his life. The shop opens, but the skills are literal garbage. Poop holding, are you kidding? Rahul tries to backpedal, claiming the shop will get better with higher levels. Choi Hyun-seok snaps, grabbing Rahul in a rage. This scam fairy is useless. Choi Hyun-seok commands the slaves to salute the Demon King. The tension is palpable. He orders the anthem of the Third Corps to begin. What is he planning? The slaves chant, their voices echoing through the fortress. The atmosphere is strangely unified. Raedron watches from his office, feeling satisfied that his training permission was a success. Suddenly, Jack the Goblin bursts in with urgent, panicked news for the commander. The human army is advancing rapidly, and the situation is spiraling out of control. Raedron is shocked. The 8th Division has already been ambushed and completely wiped out. The map shows the human advance. The fortress is now in immediate mortal danger. Jack screams for Raedron to flee immediately, but the bull demon suddenly pauses. Choi Hyun-seok watches the chaos from afar, knowing war is all about logistics and supply. Raedron knows a good supply officer is the backbone of any war. He orders Jack to move out while he personally retrieves Choi Hyun-seok. Choi Hyun-seok is frustrated. The slaves are completely out of sync today. He checks his status window, annoyed that his growth is too slow for a coup. He desperately wishes for some kind of massive, fiery growth event to trigger. Suddenly, Raedron slams down, grabbing him. The fiery growth event has arrived. Raedron isn't playing around. He demands Choi Hyun-seok leave with him immediately. The human army charges, their spears cutting down the goblin forces like wheat. The enemy spots Raedron, the legendary Red Nightmare, and the pressure is mounting. The human knights swarm the field, leaving Raedron questioning how they found them. Choi Hyun-seok freezes. Is this the golden ticket out of this nightmare? A knight charges, screaming for the Red Nightmare to finally meet his end. Raedron's massive hand swats the knight aside like a mere, annoying insect. The impact is brutal, the knight is crushed, and the ground shatters instantly. A shockwave of pure destruction ripples out, leveling everything in the immediate vicinity. Raedron turns, his glowing eyes locked on Hyun-seok. Is he checking for loyalty? Hyun-seok doesn't hesitate, snapping a crisp salute to hide his true panic thoughts. Suddenly, the human coalition arrives, shouting orders to separate citizens by their kingdoms. A knight approaches the group, asking the crucial question, are these men actually heroes? Relief washes over them. Finally, they are being treated like heroes, not slaves. The human soldiers finally arrive, greeting the prisoners with a chilling, welcome heroes. A man in regal robes steps forward, introducing himself as Duke Olevan Grimier. A soldier reports that the transfer of civilian prisoners is officially complete. Success. The commander confirms they've gathered everyone claiming to be a hero. It's starting now. Soldiers snap to their positions, blades drawn and ready for a brutal tactical maneuver. The objective is clear, the total annihilation of the heroes standing right in front of them. The convoy moves out, leaving the prisoners to face their grim, unexpected fate alone. Choi Hyun-seok breaks down, sobbing as his dream of a second chance crumbles away. He watches Raedrun sleep, realizing the demon destroyed every pursuer. He's truly trapped in hell. Rahul tries to pivot, but Hyun-seok shuts her down. He's done with her lies. Raedrun wakes from his nap, eyes narrowing at Choi Hyun-seok's suspicious muttering. Hyun-seok panics, waving his hands and frantically swearing his undying loyalty to the demon. Raedrun flashes a terrifying, toothy grin, clearly pleased by the human's sudden submissiveness. The demon promises to enlist him into the army, while Hyun-seok's fairy looks absolutely horrified. Hyun-seok forces a nervous smile, acting as if this nightmare is the greatest honor ever. The fortress gates swing open, signaling their arrival at the 3rd Corps headquarters. Raedrun leads the way, marching toward the Corps commander with Hyun-seok in tow. Hyun-seok keeps his head down, sweating bullets while playing the role of the perfect servant. Raedrun warns him to stay on his best behavior during the upcoming meeting. The demon's tone turns lethal. One wrong move and Hyun-seok is a dead man. Choi Hyun-seok steals his nerves. He's entering the tiger's den and he won't break. Raedrun stands before the massive doors, ready to present the human to the commander. A woman's voice echoes from inside. Wait, is the Corps commander actually a woman? The doors swing open to reveal Hemis, lounging with an aura of pure, lethal elegance. Hemis greets Raedrun with a chilling smile, her blindfold hiding whatever dark secrets she holds. Choi Hyun-seok is stunned. He never expected such a stunning woman to lead this legion. Raedrun bows low, offering a humble apology for failing to protect the fortress from defeat. Hemis laughs it off, dismissing the failure as the 8th Division's incompetence, not his own. But then her mood shifts. She radiates murderous intent, wishing she'd skinned that commander alive. The pressure is suffocating. Choi Hyun-seok gasps, unable to breathe under her overwhelming magical presence. Choi Hyun-seok's hand trembles. The sheer, suffocating pressure is unlike anything he has ever felt. Hemis leans forward, her blindfold fixed on the human as she demands his identity. Raedrun steps up, formally presenting Choi Hyun-seok as the promising talent he previously reported. Hemis finds him cute, but her playful tone hides a sharp, dangerous curiosity. She warns that a weak human body like his will be devoured instantly by the army. Raedrun agrees, confirming that such a gruesome fate is absolutely bound to happen. Raedrun tries to interject, offering to personally train the human to ensure his survival. Hemis cuts him off instantly, declaring that she won't waste time on a mere human. Suddenly, she transforms. Her elegant form erupts into a terrifying, monstrous entity with jagged teeth. Choi Hyun-seok screams in pure terror as those massive, clawed hands reach out to crush him. Hemis drops the bomb. Choi Hyun-seok is now the personal caretaker for her pet. Meet Bobo, a demonic wolf thing that looks way too hungry for comfort. Hyun-seok is trembling, realizing he's just been assigned to a literal death trap. Hemis purrs, asking if he dislikes the job. One wrong answer means instant death. He instantly pivots, saluting and shouting his absolute honor to serve the beast. Bobo lunges, claws digging in, but it's just a greeting from the monster. Hemis warns that Bobo gets cranky if he skips meals, and he eats his caretakers. A sign on the door reads Bobo's house. This is his new, terrifying reality. Rahul is spiraling, but Hyun-seok hushes her, don't wake the beast or they're finished. The system updates with a new, insulting quest, win the affection of this demon dog. Another quest, another 200 points, but the task is absolutely ridiculous. First the division head, now he has to win over a pet dog. A goblin guard slams the door, barking orders at him to get moving. Hyun-seok plays the submissive servant, bowing low while internally plotting his escape. He asks about the previous caretakers, and the goblin's answer is chillingly blunt. They're all dead, and now it's his turn to feed the beast. The goblin demands he head to the kitchen immediately, no time to waste. Suddenly, the monstrous Bobo wakes up and lunges straight for the goblin's throat. Hyun-seok panics, shoving the goblin toward the beast as a fresh human delicacy. The goblin screams, but Hyun-seok doesn't care. Someone has to die and it won't be him. He shoves the goblin toward the beast, survival of the fittest in this hell. Bobo's eyes light up, completely distracted by the sudden squirming snack. Rahul is losing her mind, screaming that this situation is completely out of control. He ignores her, desperate to keep the beast occupied before it turns on him. He checks his system. The extra-large bone is finally within his reach. Bobo growls, his predatory focus shifting back toward the human in the room. He pulls the bone from the shop, praying this absurd item actually works. He tosses the bone with all his might, the ultimate distraction for a demon dog. Bobo catches it midair, his savage hunger instantly replaced by pure canine joy. Rahul collapses in disbelief, finally realizing he might actually survive this insane quest. Choi Hyun-seok smirks, confident his sharp eye for detail will carry him through this. But wait, the beast isn't satisfied yet. The situation is spiraling out of control again. Bobo growls, his eyes glowing red. That bone clearly wasn't enough to fill his belly. The monster is hungry for real meat, and Hyun-seok is the only thing on the menu. Panic sets in, he's trapped in a room with a predator that's ready to feast. He needs a miracle fast. He starts barking commands, hoping to regain some semblance of control. Walk, he screams, praying his desperate, improvised training will actually work on the demonic beast. It works, the monster tilts its head, eyes wide and innocent. The aggression just vanished instantly. He's actually hugging the beast now. The tension breaks into a bizarre, surreal moment of peace. They're wandering the halls, but he's lost. Where is the kitchen in this massive, deadly fortress? Rahul suggests cornering a nearby goblin to demand directions. Hyun-seok approaches the terrified creature, flashing a deceptively friendly smile. The goblin recoils, trembling at the sight of a human roaming free. Hyun-seok plays it cool, claiming he's just out for a walk with Bobo. The goblin is confused, questioning why a human is handling the beast. Hyun-seok maintains his act, casually inquiring about the location of the kitchen. The goblin points left, desperate to escape the proximity of the monster. Rahul laughs, mocking the goblin's pathetic fear of a simple human. Hyun-seok confirms the plan, grab the meat and finish this nightmare task. Rahul challenges his long-term commitment, but Hyun-seok brushes off the concern. Hyun-seok daydreams about a destiny with a noblewoman, but reality hits hard. A frantic voice screams out, the little mutt has vanished into thin air. Hyun-seok is losing his cool, snapping at the dog for causing such massive trouble. Rahul spots the target, pointing out the hero's location with a panicked, frantic gesture. He puts on his best fake smile, acting like a doting owner to the beast. Bobo charges in, looking hungry and blood-stained. This is definitely not a normal pet. Rumors spread like wildfire. Everyone is whispering about the mysterious death of Captain Regis. Rahul looks at the carnage and nervously asks if Bobo is the true culprit. Chaos erupts as they sprint for their lives, dodging the unfolding fortress disaster. They hit a wall, a dead end. The path to safety is completely blocked off. The goblins corner him, threatening to tear him apart like a chicken wing. They are hungry, hoping the captain hasn't been fully digested by the beast yet. Hyun-seok panics internally, screaming at himself to stay focused and keep his cool. He snaps back at them, his rage boiling over at these wretched, disgusting creatures. The massive goblin horde freezes in their tracks, completely stunned by his sudden outburst. He proudly presents the beast, demanding they recognize the brave companion beside him. A goblin scoffs, questioning if that thing is just a monster, not a pet. Hyun-seok explodes with fury, unable to tolerate their blatant disrespect toward his partner. He thrusts Bobo forward, declaring him the one and only, while the beast just yawns. The goblins whisper in terror, convinced this must be a dangerous, high-level human trick. The goblins are stunned, unable to comprehend the human's strange, cold confidence. Hyun-seok activates his evil mode, his grin masking a desperate, calculated gamble. He commands Bobo to attack, and the beast lunges with terrifying, savage speed. The goblin is helpless, caught in the jaws of a beast without a muzzle. Hyun-seok mocks them, demanding to know if anyone still doubts his control over Bobo. The system pings, his charisma stat surges as he dominates the terrified demon soldiers. He stands amidst the chaos, wondering why the fortress is suddenly so loud. Hemis appears, her presence chilling as she questions the ruckus caused by the newbie. They arrive at Hemis' office, a place of luxury that feels like a death trap. Hemis smiles, her voice dripping with malice as she confronts him about his survival. Hyun-seok bows low, desperate to appease the terrifying commander before him. Hemis mocks his sudden humility, finding his calculated performance strangely amusing. She admits he acts surprisingly human, standing out from the usual mindless fools. Her clawed hand reaches out, testing his resolve with a cold, lethal touch. She complains that the Demon King's army relies too much on mindless brute force. Hyun-seok probes for meaning, but she keeps her dark intentions hidden behind a smirk. Hemis drops a bombshell, she's considering him for an executive position in her legion. Hyun-seok is stunned, an executive role for a human is completely unheard of. She explains the decision match, a brutal system to steal ranks from others. She offers him a month of protection, provided he wins a lethal duel for her. Hemis coldly notes that only by climbing ranks will he become remotely useful. Choi Hyun-seok stammers, his heart racing as he asks what happens if he loses. Hemis looms over him, promising that death won't be a graceful or quick release. He realizes the trap is set, she's forcing a duel he never asked for. Choi Hyun-seok snaps at Rahul, demanding to know why his SSS rank potential isn't helping. Rahul fires back, coldly reminding him that potential is just a possibility, not power. He stares at her in disbelief, realizing his assigned fairy is completely useless here. He turns to a blood-stained door, praying he hasn't just walked into his own grave. He peeks through the door, hoping for a miracle but finding only more dread. An unidentified orc officer looms, confirming he's the human the commander was talking about. Choi Hyun-seok encounters Kulkin, the massive, imposing chef of the Demon King's army. He tries to charm the orc for snacks, but Kulkin immediately senses something is off. The chef flatly refuses his request, leaving Hyun-seok completely stunned by the sudden rejection. Kulkin demands to know why he should help, citing Hemi's orders to keep distance. Hyun-seok desperately pleads for an exception, claiming it's all for the sake of Bobo. The orc glares, his eyes narrowing as he considers the human's pathetic, frantic request. Kulkin points to the goblin butchers, telling him to hunt his own fresh meat. Hyun-seok stares in horror, realizing the cooks are just bloodthirsty butchers hacking up corpses. He stands frozen, panicking at the thought of hunting dangerous beasts in this hell. Suddenly, a massive, enraged boar charges. He's been thrown into a life-or-death hunt. The massive beast Morgan is finally down, but the cost is absolutely staggering. The slaves are charging blindly, screaming for vengeance while Hyun-seok watches in pure disbelief. He's trapped in the middle of this slaughter, wondering who's actually the prey today. Blood is everywhere, and Hyun-seok realizes his own life is hanging by a thread. He's forced to make a split-second decision, stay and die or finally take control. The orc officer looms over him, cold and indifferent to the carnage unfolding nearby. The hunt is over, but the orc is baffled by how they survived this mess. 12 dead, many wounded, the casualties are mounting, and the mission is a total disaster. The orc gives a thumbs up, completely ignoring the bodies. Does he have no heart? Hyun-seok makes a chilling choice. The escape plan is dead and everything changes now. Rahul is losing it. Does he really think he can hunt monsters with those stats? Choi Hyun-seok shrugs it off. He just needs the experience points to level up quickly. He wonders aloud if landing the final blow is enough to trigger a level up. Rahul looks horrified at his desperate, cheap tactics, but she can't deny his logic. He's done wasting time. He turns and marches back toward the heart of the danger. He knows he's trapped, so he has to get stronger before the month is over. He runs into Kulkin again, who is surprised to see the human hasn't fled yet. Hyun-seok forces a nervous, wide grin, sweating as he realizes how sharp the orc is. He pivots hard, claiming he's decided to join the Demon King's army for real combat. Kulkin's eyes narrow into a lethal glare. He knows exactly what this human is up to. Did he push too far? The officer's reaction is impossible to read. The orc chef bursts into laughter. He actually loves the human's bold attitude. Hyun-seok plays it smart, bowing and crediting the chef for his newfound confidence. The chef is impressed, granting him the lead position for the very next hunt. Wait, the lead position? That's an incredibly high honor for a human newcomer. Hyun-seok acts shocked, playing the humble servant while his mind races with opportunities. Suddenly, a panicked goblin sprints toward them, screaming for the chef's immediate attention. The chef turns, his expression hardening as he demands to know the emergency. It's a full-scale monster attack. The fortress is under siege by something dangerous. A terrifying howl echoes, and Yuron Pak has arrived to hunt them all down. Hyun-seok stares up, sensing the shift in the air. Is this a real threat? Kulkin shrugs it off, dismissing the Yuron Pak as merely bad-tasting dinner ingredients. With no other options, Hyun-seok grips his weapon, ready to face the encroaching danger. The orc rallies the troops, turning a life-threatening siege into a simple kitchen prep session. Hyun-seok's eyes widen. He sees his chance to farm experience points amidst the chaos. Rahul suddenly intervenes, channeling a mysterious buff directly into the hero's system. A surge of power floods his veins. His stats are climbing, but only for 3 minutes. Rahul smugly gloats about her contribution, clearly expecting some gratitude for the sudden boost. Hyun-seok snaps, slamming his fist into her. Why hold back such a powerful skill until now? He charges into the fray, laser-focused on securing the final blow to level up fast. He's hunting for more. He needs to secure his future with every kill. He dives into the chaos, his eyes locked on the pack of Euron monsters. He won't let anyone else take the glory. He's claiming every final blow today. The system pings, the Euron are falling, and his level is skyrocketing right now. 4 levels in one go. He can't believe his eyes. This is the real path forward. He's already calculating the math. Level 20 is within his reach by tonight. The goblins are struggling, but Hyun-seok is dancing through the blood-soaked battlefield. He swings his blade with lethal precision, carving through the monsters like a pro. A slip of the foot, no, it's a calculated strike to finish the beast off. He's addicted to the grind. Every final blow brings him closer to absolute power. The battle finally ends, leaving Hyun-seok exhausted and questioning if it's truly over. He catches his breath, realizing the monsters are cleared and it's time to head back. Nearby goblins are already tearing into their spoils, cackling with pure savage delight. One goblin holds up a massive, bloody bone, demanding even more meat for his feast. Kulkin the chef looms over Hyun-seok, his presence heavy and his eyes judgingly sharp. Hyun-seok recoils, shocked that the chef is casually devouring military rations right in front of him. Culkin shrugs off the concern, claiming it's a chef's privilege to eat the best cuts. He tears into the meat with gusto, insisting that delicious food makes this hell worthwhile. Hyun-seok is baffled, wondering if these people have any concept of fair treatment or unions. Culkin tosses him a chunk of meat, acknowledging his effort in the brutal, bloody hunt. Hyun-seok tears into the meat, noting the strong scent but bland, tough texture. He scoffs, thinking this would get shut down with bad reviews back in Korea. He watches the goblins fight for scraps, shocked they risk their lives for such trash. A wild idea hits him: if he could cook something better, he could control them. Rahul is stunned by his sudden, ambitious declaration to become the god of chefs. He ignores her, slamming his hand out to force open the hero's shop in her face. With only 70 points left, he's determined to spend every last one on this gamble. He locks in his purchase, a manic grin spreading across his face as it activates. A blinding light erupts from his hand, the skill is finally taking hold. Rahul screams in panic, terrified by the sheer power he just unleashed. He unlocks the secret weapon, the legendary MSG, to conquer these demons through their stomachs.